Unfortunately, many of the accidents we see on North Yorkshire roads are similar to Daniel's. Quite often it's a misjudgment, and unfortunately a lot of our collisions involve a loss of control at speed on a bend on a country road. Often the driver has very limited driving experience. In the recent past we've had collisions where people have passed the test only days before the crash happening. You must remember that your child may have only had 20 driving hours experience at the time they passed their test. And it's from that point onwards they must build up their skills.
As a police officer and a member of the North Yorkshire Police, I know it's my responsibility to influence drivers' behaviour and to promote road safety with young drivers. But also as a father, I'm willing to take on my responsibility. Both my children have learnt to drive and are both now drivers on the roads of North Yorkshire. And at times it was difficult, at times it was confrontational, but I guarantee you that I would much rather have a falling out over the manner in which they drive than end up possibly visiting them in hospital or potentially looking at them in a morgue. As parents, the chances are they've bought the car, they pay for its maintenance, they possibly even provide the money for petrol to go in it. The use of the car by the child is a privilege, not a right. If you believe that the car's being used inappropriately, take away the privilege. It's not a right for your child to drive.
Hello, do you know why I've stopped you?
I think I went a little bit fast out the 30 back there. Sorry.
Yes, you did, yes. The speed limit through Topcliffe is 30 miles per hour. I don't know if you were... It's really important that you observe your child's attitude to driving. You would look out for signs of drugs or alcohol abuse, look out for signs that the vehicle is being misused. Are there any dings, scratches on it? Is the person being asked to produce the documents on a too frequent basis? Are war stories around the kitchen table on a Sunday afternoon real or made up? Are your children subscribing to certain internet sites or magazines which arguably encourage speed or poor driver behaviour? Are you aware that they are videoing themselves or their friends in vehicles whilst travelling at speed? Those are all things to consider. If you feel that the vehicle is being abused, then try and question your child as to why that is occurring. Also, if you would try and make a restriction and rules about the use of the vehicle, such as the number of occupants, the time of day it's being used. Try and instill the responsibility of the individual. How would they like to injure their best friend, girlfriend? How would it affect their lives if they were involved in an incident such as the ones we deal with on a day-to-day basis? Your children will learn by example. From an early age, if they've seen that you have disrespect for other motorists, they've seen you speed, they've seen you drink and drive, they've witnessed you park on double yellow lines, for instance, on the whole have a disregard for the rules of the road, then they're likely to follow by your example. If they see that you abide by the speed limits, that you don't drink and drive, that you pay other motorists respect, then surely that must have a beneficial effect on your child's driving career. Remember that you will have a vast amount of driving experience when compared to your child. Help them learn by your experiences, whether it's how to drive in poor weather conditions, such as on icy roads, in fog, in driving rain, or driving at night. There's also the Pass Plus scheme. The Pass Plus scheme means that you can, while still under instruction, although you've passed your test, you can still gain greater experience and further instruction in such areas as motorway driving.
Speaking as both a parent and a police officer, and having experienced this with both my son and my daughter, you've got to bear in mind what's going to happen with this car that you buy for your child. It's not a fashion accessory, it's not something that should be bought in competition with other children. Think about what they're going to do. When they've passed their test, they know how to pass a test, not how to drive. Do you really want them going out on the roads in high performance vehicles? Consider safety features, which is the last thing your son or daughter will consider. But as a parent, I would recommend that you do that. Stay away from high performance vehicles, GTIs, things like that. Consult the websites, take advice from driving instructors and other organisations, and bear in mind the safety, because it could cost your child's life. As a parent, you've got to be careful about what's happened to this car that you've bought. Your child is going to want to modify it, alloy wheels, wider tyres, possibly spoilers, body kits. They all are telling you something. They're all telling you that there's this attitude of wanting to go faster. The other thing you've got to bear in mind as well is that a lot of insurance companies will classify those modifications, alloy wheels and spoilers, as sporting modifications. And the possibility is that if you were to make a claim, it could invalidate your insurance. But the main thing, speaking as a father, is it says something about the attitude and the way the car's being driven. We're starting to get into competitive areas, wanting their car to be better than somebody else's. The danger is that that also goes into the driving. That's what leads to tragedies, which I deal with all the time. People trying to prove that their car was faster.
The maintenance of your kid's vehicle is extremely important. In the police force, we use the acronym POWER. Our power checks are for petrol, oil, water, electrics, including the vehicle's lights, and rubber. Rubber is in respect of the tread depths and the pressures of the tyres. Pressure of the tyres are very important. It'll affect the handling of the vehicle, and it'll also cause tyre wear sooner than it should. Also, it's an idea to plan your maintenance of a vehicle and to make your checks regular.
So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are.
3 things to remember as a parent. Buy the correct car. Buy a car that's suitable for your child to gain experience as a road user. Secondly, teach them to have respect for themselves and other road users, passengers, other drivers. And third, as a father, I would want you to look your child in the eye and talk with them about the consequences of them being involved in a serious injury or fatal collision. Tell them what it's going to mean to you. I've had to sit opposite mums and dads and explain how simple action by them could have saved their child's life.